What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hammerdown Motorsports. Today behind me we have our 2022 Super Duty, and we're going to be actually taking something off which I'd added previously, and we're going to be upgrading it because there's a new product out from Banks that's going to make this a whole lot better. So over here, open up our rig. You can see we have our Banks IDash right here, and it's a little hard to tell because it's a little dark in here. We do have the black headliner. This is a black piece, and then it has our gauge in it, which actually doesn't look terrible. But if you look over there, and if you look here and here, maybe on camera it's hard to tell, but this has like a bluish tinge to it. The same with the steering wheel and all that. So all of the plastics in the truck match except for this guy. And when we get it out, I'll show you comparatively to what our other one looks like, because right here you can see our factory one in the light a little bit. It's really gonna be hard to see until we get them side by side. But this is where we have our handle and all that. Our sound deadening's in there. Our little speaker goes right there, which I swapped over to the one that we have in the truck right now, which is actually an autometer one, which has been doing the job, but I think we could do a little bit better. All right, so here side by side, you can see our color difference. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say that it's a crazy difference. You do have a sheen to this one. It does have some texture to it. Then we have our factory one, which has been sitting in a box for a couple years now, so it's gonna need a little bit of a cleanup. But yeah, this is definitely a little bit of a different color than this. So we're gonna be back to factory and have the truck looking exactly the way I want it to be, because this little bit of a shininess to it always kind of bothered me that it didn't match the rest of the truck. So on this piece, it says Gauge Works on there. I'm pretty sure I ordered this from Autometer, but either way, it doesn't matter. It's coming off. We do have our speaker that had to be swapped over, so we're gonna swap this back over to our OEM piece. Tight but not over tight, and this is ready to go back in, and then we can show you guys how our new Banks edition is going to allow all this to work together. So this is our Banks part number right there. We do have our pod that's going to go right over here by the bottom of our handle, and then we have this supplied bolt. We do have a step bit, and we do have an Allen key to get that bolt installed. And now we're gonna have to see what modifications we're gonna have to make to this to make it all work. So when you're doing this installation, obviously you're gonna have this piece out on the bench. And then first thing what we're gonna do here with our modification process is this little cover that covers our bottom bolt. We're gonna grab that, pull it out, no big deal. Get that out of the way, and then we have room to get our step bit in there to make enough room so we can get our cables through for our iDash. So now before doing any drilling, I'm just gonna take the pod and set it in place, make sure that everything fits the way it should. Obviously it's going on the bottom hole, so you have the right one removed and you're drilling in the right spot. So we can kind of mock up how this is gonna sit in the truck, know that everything is fitting how it should. Now, what we're going to do is this section here on the bottom, because you can see on our pod, this is where the wires are gonna go through. Not the top, we're going in the bottom here, so just make sure you're drilling in the right spot. So now we're going to take our step bit that is provided, and we're going to mark off on the 18mm section, because you don't want to go further than that. They said you can use tape. I'm going to use a paint pen, just a little bit easier. If you don't have that available, obviously you can use tape or whatever, just so you don't drill it out too far and then have too big of a hole, because you don't want to have anything on the bottom here that you're going to see when your pod is installed. So now we have our step bit in the drill. You can see my mark there. Actually, I just used a Sharpie. Worked pretty good on there. And now we're going to get in to this area nice and carefully. Get our hole drilled out. You can always stop at any point, make sure that everything is going nice and straight, make sure that our pod is going to cover that. You can see there is a provision here, so you do have quite a bit that's going to go over top, so you don't have to worry about that hole being too big that you're going to see it. That's just kind of what I was checking there. So now we can continue on and know that we're not going to be making anything that's unsightly on our beautiful Platinum Super Duty. Okay. So now you can see we do have a nice clean hole here. It's going to get some of this extra plastic out of the way. Also, you can see on the other side, there's really nothing in the way here as far as anything you're going to accidentally drill into, but you just want to clean up this hole a little bit. I think that's going to be plenty of room to get those wires through, and then we can move on to our next step in this process. So now back over to the truck, you can see we do have our wiring pushed in through that hole that we made, and we just got this loosely sitting here. Make sure that you plug in your speaker. You don't want to forget that. We have that done already, and now we're ready to fit this into place and just loosely start our bolt. I'm going to do the top bolt here for our handle, and then we can see what we got to do to get our pod installed. All right, so now our handle has returned to the Super Duty, and we have our wires hanging out here like so. We have this bolt just loosely put in there, and there's a clip on the top. It's gonna hold all this kind of together. So we made sure we plugged in our speaker and everything is out of the way. And obviously there is an airbag in here, so that's why you really wanna take this out of the truck to be able to do your drilling. You don't wanna drill into your airbag, that'd be a bad day. But now, where we are going to get our pod over and our supplied bolt, and we can make this all come together to make this a beautiful, seamless installation on our 22 Super Duty. So now you can see we do have our wires pulled through the pod. Everything is nicely in place, but we do have to put our bolt in still. So you want to make sure you put that in, obviously, before our gauge is going to go in. I've got a little extra wire slack. I'm probably going to pull my side panel here, and then when I connect my wires, I can just kind of pull back on them nice and easy, and then slide that back in there so nothing's all crumpled up in the back of the pod. But we're going to get our bolt installed here and get this thing all fastened down. All right, so last little turn here to get everything nicely tightened up. And you can see this is nice and tight now, but we still need to tighten our top bolt here. And then we can put this cover back over. And then what we can do is actually get our gauge reconnected and pull the slack in on our wires. Gonna run that guy up by hand here a bit. And then we're using our flex head ratchet from Alsa Tools. You can hear how nice that action sounds. 1/4 inch. Don't go crazy on it. Got that nice and tight. Then we can get our bolt cover reinstalled. All right, so now our gauge is back in place. It just kind of pops in there. So you just want to make sure it's clocked which direction that you want. So your logo's where you want it, but this is how it sits in the truck. And it puts it in a fairly similar position as the other one. It's a little bit more forward, so it's actually closer to you, which is nice. If you have a little bit of reading problems like I do, you can get it a little bit closer to you so you can see what you got going on there with your gauge. But I really like the fit and finish of it. You can see how that looks in the truck. And obviously we got to put all our weather stripping and our side panel back on. I just want to check my wiring, make sure everything is where I want it, and we'll put this thing back together and give you guys the final result. So just got done a little interior detail on our panel, getting it looking brand new once again, and you can see how clean that looks in the truck. And now we can retain our handle, so if you need that to get in and out of your truck, especially when the trucks get lifted, it sometimes becomes more of a thing, but it's just nice to have that uniform look with a handle on both sides. And now we have our really nice Banks pod right here, has Banks on the side of it. And you do have the option, if you want to run 2 IDashes, you can get the double pod as well. But I only have the single, so that's what we're going to be running for now. But yeah, looks very nice. And definitely drop in the comments, what do you guys think of our upgrade compared to what we were running before? So there it is, everybody, a nice little Super Duty mod running our Banks IDash. If you guys are running one of those, are you using this style of pod, or do you have a different style or an aftermarket, or would you upgrade to this so you can return to that handle like I did? But definitely drop in the comments anything you'd like to say so I can communicate with you guys there. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and as always, keep that hammer down. And if you stuck around this long, we're gonna do a quick little shop run through because we've got a few things that I've completed and made things a little bit better. So I think I've kind of found my realm here as far as work area. Obviously, surfaces need to be cleaned off. We've got some videos to make on some certain things like that and that and that, and yeah, we have lots of content to work with, but love having the TV there. It's really nice to have that when you're working on a vehicle. We're doing some service on the Porsche. Gonna get that thing up and running and up to date. Then we got our workbench here. We got the Icon toolbox over here, which I absolutely love. And then we have, well, tire machine is nothing changed there. Wife's Jag is here. Super Duty and Raptor are in the middle bay. I finally got the bar cleaned off. Got our banner hung up back here. Then we got the big screen up there, a little bit of Matt Armstrong going on. Flags are up there. And if you noticed, our back wall is now all finished up. And we also have all the metal done behind the screen and all the way over there on the mezzanine as well. So big things happening. I'm gonna paint the stairs. I gotta finish a little bit with that railing there, just where it meets up. I wanna get it all painted before I finished that completely, but got the speakers mounted on our little brick wall back here, and seating area is really nice. So hopefully you can have some good times over here, just checking out some videos up here, sing some karaoke. You got the microphone there. We do have the tractor, the Dart, which needs a little bit of love. We did have some issues with it over fueling. I changed the plugs in it, I changed the oil in it, and it's having an oil leak too. So I was getting puddles like that. So I'm gonna have to get that on the lift and see what's going on with it. Camaro, not a whole lot's changed. I would love to put a cam in this car, hopefully sometime in the future, but getting the shop done was my priority, and I'm pretty much there. Just got to do around the doors yet, which is going to be not terrible. I think it's going to be less than all of what I've had to finish up here over the last little bit. Jeep is chilling over there. Raptor's right here. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of the graphics on the Raptor? I go back and forth with whether I'm going to take them off or not, but I might take them off and just get more of like a factory like Raptor graphic on there. We'll see how that all goes, but definitely have been enjoying this truck and the Super Duty as well. And we're gonna move these. These are my Pachizlos from Japan, and they're actually pretty interesting. They all speak Japanese and everything when you win. It's pretty entertaining, but I'm gonna put these somewhere else because I don't like the way that they look with the back of them facing everything. I'm actually gonna extend the bar out so that we can have kind of a mirror of what's over there, over here. And this is all gonna get repainted in different color because the brown doesn't really go with anything else in the shop. We kind of got like a black and white theme going, but gonna get that all sorted out. Got my Christmas candle going and just enjoying the shop for exactly what it is. And I'm really glad that I have a place to put all these cars.